Arsenal already stressing, man. Damn.
Already, my bro. What do you mean? You lot started getting stressed from day one. You couldn't find a manager for nothing, mate.
Bro, you lost to fam.
What do you mean, fam? You lot went through like 16 managers a few weeks ago, my bro.
All I said is Arsenal stressing you, man, already, and you bit the bait, bro. That's what I said.
You like saying things and then just standing back. Cool. Say nothing, man. Say nothing. So what you lot saying? You lot want to start in Hibernian and not England?
No, let's talk
start England, man. We've got to start England.
Let's start with you because you was there. So talk to us. Talk to us.
Well, listen. You know, it was the first final that I've seen. We've all seen. So. You know, getting the train from Manchester in the morning was absolutely mental. They had to stop. The train wouldn't leave the station. There was too many people on it. They said, look, it was like one of them trains that you see in India where everyone's hanging on the edge of it and all that. That's what was happening. One in the north, in the south. So they went, get off the train and that. So people getting off the train. There was people in the overhead lockers, people under the tables. Anyway, it gets into Euston. Boom, man. England army, mate. It was like an invasion. Never seen out like it. But the spirits were good, you know what I mean? Relatively good. Flies to the hotel, drops a gear in, gets to Wembley Way. Wembley Way was carnals, mate. Absolutely carnage. I think every single bellend in the world that's never been to watch England was on Wembley Way. Yeah. Smoke bombs up their ass. You've seen it. You've seen the video.
Oh, that was bad, man. I don't know why I showed it.
You see that in person, Steve?
Mate, that was all that shit, mate. I seen it. That was happening all over, mate. It was weird. Listen, it's weird shit, that. Let me tell you that. I've been to matches all over the world and I've never seen shit like that. You know what I mean? So anyway, and then, right, about all the nonsense, the atmosphere in the stadium was rocking, man. Everyone was Sweet Carolined up, you know what I mean? Fucking Free Lions, Vindaloo, all that. The Italian fans were in good spirits. They were all singing Nessun Dorma and all that stuff. And then it's just the game kicked off and then we scored that goal. It was like madness, mate. And then you just think, then when you calm down, you think, shit, we've scored first. We've now got 89 minutes of fucking Gareth Southgate's clinging on football to hold on.
Well, did you expect that?
Looking at the team, look at the team. You've got the two wing backs, the 3 centre backs, and the 2 defensive midfielders. So and the goalkeeper. But 8 of your team has got their ass to your own goal, so you know where you're coming from. You know what I mean? And I've spoke about it on Matisse's show and with SAEED on Mank Talk, and I said, you know, we the bench that we had, and we were the young lions against the old wily foxes. You know what I mean? If Italy were there for the taking for me, I'd nothing about that Italy team scared me. You know what I mean? I thought, come on, let's go for it. And it just left me a bit deflated. And then you get to the penalties, it's 50-50. Then you think maybe we're going to break the duck, maybe we're going to do the hoodoo. And then we save to save 2 penalties and lose, and then to miss 3 on the trot. It just was just a mad day, mate. But England are cursed when it comes to penalties, man. I'm telling you now, they're absolutely cursed. Serious.
It is mad. It is mad. Who's next? Matisse.
I mean, when we went up 1-0 up that early, I actually thought that actually kind of suited this England team, because we've seen England struggle to score goals at times earlier on in this tournament. The team, like Steve said, was set up, do you know what I mean, to be defensive and to be on the back foot. They had mostly defenders on that pitch, 2 attackers. I wouldn't consider Mason Mount an attacker, more of just a midfielder. So, you know, you set up to be 1-0 up and counter for the rest of the game. But these guys, these guys somehow, they just, I don't know, maybe Southgate got cold feet, but he just forgot to manage the rest of the game. Do you know what I mean? The 120 minutes, the 90 minutes. Just because you're 1-0 up doesn't mean you don't still keep giving them something to worry about. And I thought England should be a threat on the counter, especially against those aging centre backs. Shouldn't really suit Italy to come onto us. Yeah, they've got great ball playing players, and you know their midfielders are very good on the ball, like Jorginho, Verratti, and they're going to keep the ball. England's midfield was never set up for that, but you would have thought on the break it would be quite dangerous. But I mean, you only have to look at Saka at the end of the game, you know, dragging Chiellini all over the place. That could have been most of the game if we had some pace out there. I thought he took way too long to take off Mount and bring on Grealish. I didn't think Mason Mount had the greatest game. Sterling, maybe for Sancho on that left wing. Could have done a whole heap of things. When you've got those type of attacking options to you, man, you got to utilize them. So I think in the end, it just caught up to him. He's coming up against Mancini. He's inferior. So it's tough to take. There's more to analyze than just them penalties. We can talk about the penalties all day long. The lineup for the penalties, man. Bloody hell. I don't even know where to start with that. It's crazy. Ludicrous.
I think the early goal for England should have pushed Southgate to change it up a bit and go more on the front foot. I think I can understand the hesitation, even though England should have gone in on the front foot. I can understand the hesitation. Italy
I think that was the worst thing that we could have done, score early, because then Southgate didn't have a clue what to do then. He wanted to like 60, 70 minutes at 0-0 and make changes like he did in the other games and then go on and win it. Once we got 1-0 up, it was like, oh shit, we're 1-0 up, what do we do now? And then the players were probably looking at him as if to say, are we supposed to like crack on attacking here, or are we still staying deep, or what? But I just thought you're never ever going to get a better chance of winning the Euros on your home turf against an aging Italian side with a team as young as ours, and especially when it got into extra time and it got into the trenches. Chiellini, you could tell by the pullback on Saka, he didn't want to be running after nobody. So that's the time for me where we put it right on him. You know what I mean? Get them long balls over the top, get Sterling running at him, Sancho, whatever. And at least try it, you know what I mean? If we'd have got caught out and got beat, we could have said, you know what, we had to do. But to leave it to the penalties and the lottery at the end, and England's record, you know, Pizza have got another for 3 dudes now to go on adverts. That's all I can say.
So Toby, do you know this person here?
Pardon?
Do you know this Carmen?
Nah, I don't, but he or she is funny.
Yeah, the name came. I've never seen that name here before, and all of a sudden a super chat about you.
You got your name wrong as well. You got your name wrong. It's right, Tony.
Yeah, he said Tony. I don't know who Tony is, but yeah.
Tony's a good guy, man.
Anyways, it's my turn to speak on England, isn't it? So I think I agree with Steve that England perhaps scoring like early on was probably the worst thing in terms of Gareth Southgate's sort of game management, because the only thing that he's been able to do to a reasonable standard for England is be reserved and be a bit pragmatic in terms of putting 5, 6, even 7 defensive-minded players at certain points on the pitch and trying to soak up pressure and then playing either in transition or picking their moments to score. And I felt in the first half it was a bit different, because not only did England score first, but even when Italy were keeping more of the ball, they weren't really able to penetrate England. I felt like England's midfielders were putting sufficient pressure on the game changers like a Verratti, like a Jorginho for the first 30 odd minutes. I felt like England were actually playing well. And I felt like obviously England knew they weren't going to win the midfield battle. They're not going to pass Italy to death. So I like the fact that they would play through wide areas, or at the very least, they would play in midfield. And I know you're probably going to say, "Oh yeah, it's me being biased," but I feel like Harry Kane was a decent part of that in the first half, because when people were saying, "Oh yeah, he lost to come deep," he was coming deep, collecting the ball, doing things with the ball, and distributing, playing good passes out wide. Like 2 or 3 times, he found Trippier in acres of space. The second time was a bit of a disguised pass. So I felt like that was working well for England. And then 35 minutes to half time, I felt like England, I think energy was sort of running a bit low because they were doing all the pressing, doing all the running. And then Italy started taking control of the game. And for me, any manager who's worth their weight in gold, you should see alarm bells should start ringing now, because that end of the first half, you could tell Italy were firmly in the game. Jorginho was getting more time to dictate and was finding people. Verratti was literally passing and moving non-stop. From around 36 minutes onwards, Verratti, he would pass the ball, move, receive, pass, move, receive, pass, move. They couldn't deal with him. They couldn't live with him in the second half as well. And for me, Gareth Southgate, to watch all that unfold, when you have a better bench than Italy, you have players who are capable of causing Italy more problems, and you're still playing this reserve nature and even letting it go to pens. Marcus Rashford and Sancho, he brings them on for penalties. Why are you bringing? I can understand maybe bringing them on for penalties, cool. But for me, if I'm a manager, I'm bringing them on literally of extra time. Bring them on at extra time and let these men do what they do best on the pitch and let them work this Italian defense. Put yourself higher up the pitch, but it didn't happen. England were playing like sitting ducks for 75% of the match, thinking they're going to go to penalties and win it on 50-50s when we've seen what England are like in these crunch games and penalty shootouts versus the Italians. It didn't make any sense to me.
Mate, the crowd knew in the stadium that we weren't going to win the penalty shootout. Everyone had their heads in their hands before the penalty had even been kicked. Everybody knew. I looked around me and I thought, and I knew, you get that feeling in the crowd. Some crowds suck you to the win, don't they? You know what I mean? Everyone's bouncing. Come on, we've done that a few times in this tournament. But as soon as that penalties decision, penalties, everyone in England then just went, here we
But
go.
you couldn't pick out 5 good penalty takers for England. I was struggling before the match. I couldn't pick out anybody. Do you know what I mean?
People
And I
saying
think
to me, Sterling should have took one. No way should he have took one because he wouldn't have scored it. He just wouldn't have scored it.
Yeah, he's not good at penalties, but I think he should. I think instead of Saka, I think he definitely should have taken one because
You know what, Toby? If I'm Gareth Southgate and I walk around that little huddle and I say, right, who wants to take a penalty? If Jack Grealish is looking at the floor and says to me, yeah, I want to take one, in my eyes, I'm thinking, nah. But if Saka steps forward and goes, give me the ball, I'll smash it, let me have one, I'm thinking, you know what, give it him. So that's what Grealish just come out and said he has to take a penalty, but Southgate made a decision. But I've done it at amateur level when I've come to a shootout. I've had my main striker say to me, he looked at the floor and went to me, yeah, I'll take one if you want. If you want. So I didn't make him take one. I lost the shootout. He went, he should have given me the ball. I went, no, he didn't even look like...
Did you see the video?
I do feel like if Grealish really, really wanted it, you get yourself into that top 5 list. There's no way you're screaming up in an arm and saying, I want a penalty.
But even in Matisse,
not going to make it in the top 5. Do you know what I mean?
He hasn't took one for us to.
That's what I'm saying. I couldn't find a good penalty taker in the whole. Like I couldn't really find too many in that England team outside of Harry Kane. Harry Maguire shocked me. To his credit, stuck it in the top corner. I didn't see that coming. But I think everybody just got cold feet in the end because look at that squad. How many of those players have got to that stage before in their careers and come out on the right side? Do you know what I mean? How many trophies? How many deciding fixtures and finals has Harry Maguire won? Gareth Southgate won. Go through that whole England team. You can't, Jack Grealish, you can't find not too many winners in that England team.
You're right.
They just didn't have any experience.
The one player who should have I get what Steve's saying, but I disagree in terms of Sterling not taking one. Well, I'm not necessarily saying that Sterling is good at penalties, but I think he should have taken one because he simply has more experience than others at taking penalties. Wasn't it Raheem Sterling penalty two years ago that won Man City the League Cup against Chelsea? He scored the winning penalty. He stepped up, took the last penalty, he scored it. He's also missed. I think he missed the penalty against Liverpool years back when Man City won the League Cup on the Pellegrini. I think I can't remember, but he's got experience doing it. To let someone like Bukayo Saka take the 5th penalty, having never even taken a penalty at club level for Arsenal, is mad to me. It's very, very mad.
Especially in that order to make him go 5th. 5th is your Ronaldo's, your Messi's, your Jorginho was 5th for Italy. He still missed, but you put your talisman 5th. You don't put 19-year-old Saka 5th.
I think there's two arguments there because I think you also want to start a shootout well as well.
100%.
So I think Kane going first wasn't that bad of a choice. Like I know he's got for that. I think him going first gets the ball rolling. Maguire went second, top bins. I believe you can't change the list once it's handed in, right?
Yeah. But the thing is, for me though, it should never have got to penalties. And I know people say I think you're being a bit too harsh on England, but I think the game was there to be won in 90 minutes in extra time. It should. Same with Ollie. That's why I call him Ole Gunnar Southgate. Ollie waited until it was extra time against Villarreal. He could have won that game in 120 minutes. Southgate chose to go to the extra time, mate, because at the end of the day, he had Grealish. He brought on Grealish too late. I thought the Saka change for me, I don't know if that was the right one. I thought maybe Sancho would have been a better option. And kid me not, man, we've not even used Calvert-Lewin off the bench. Why not go 2 up top? I mean, Calvert-Lewin, has bullied defenders in the Premier League. I don't know if you remember that one where I think it was on the first game against Liverpool. Bullied Van Dijk in the air, jumped ahead of him and got in there. So you can do that. We didn't use him. Why not? Penalty shooter, he's striker. Use him. So at the end of the day, for me, it's Southgate's problem. Should never have got to that penalty shootout. Should have won it in extra time. There was a moment where Italy were rattled should have went for it then. Saka pull him down. Jorginho going for tackle. I thought Bonucci and Chiellini, yeah, and I know they're unbelievable, and I know they're world-class defenders, but listen, they're aging. You know, are you telling me for 120 minutes these guys can play at their absolute maximum? You know, there's a moment where you're going to have to get them. Southgate didn't do that, and there were the moments where Mancini got it right and he changed it around, and then that's the problem, isn't it? You know, you get caught out.
But do you remember when we said before the tournament, just quickly, Southgate, right? He said after the game he wanted to keep the balance of the team, attack and defense. It's like he had too many options on the bench. You talk about Calvert-Lewin. He must have been extra time now trying to keep the balance of the team in two ways, whether he should go for it or he's going to lose it in extra time. Again, like I said, getting cold feet, the occasion, whole of Wembley's rocking. Literally every single little decision you make now, this is it. Like the whole nation is on your back for this decision that you're going to make off the bench. And he's got all these options. He's got Calvert-Lewin, he's got Rashford, he's got Sancho, he's got Grealish, all these guys. And we spoke about before the tournament, the indecisiveness of bringing 4 right-backs to the tournament. This is what we're talking about. These little moments now where it's critical because yes, you got to the tournament final and I think he deserves credit for that. But you got there as decent run of fixtures. You did your job. Germany, great result, brilliant. But you was quite comfortable actually in all those games. But when it comes to the finer moments now, we have to make critical decisions under pressure. Folds. Do you know what I mean? Folds a bit.
I think. Sorry, I wanted to address a couple comments because people keep asking me to talk about Harry Kane, talk about his performance.
One sector before you do, let me read this super chat from Reggie. Difference between merely agreeing to take a penalty and insisting on taking one. If no one insisted on going ahead of Saka, then they are to blame too. But I saw a video of Southgate kind of going to different players in the actual penalty order, which seemed like he was telling these players they're going to take a penalty. He went to Rashford, then he went to Sancho, then he went to Saka. The next one was Pickford, which was a bit baffling. Obviously, it didn't get to that penalty. But that video indicated that it wasn't necessarily players stepping up to it. It was him picking them out from what he knew and what he said after the game. But I don't know. Tobes, what's your thoughts on Kane?
So first of all, I want to address the comment about the penalties that are... There's been comments earlier this week, ridiculous, calling Harry Kane like a coward for taking the first penalty, and I'm like, you want your best penalty take? You want one of your best penalty takers taking the first, second, or third penalty?
But sometimes he doesn't get to 5 penalties.
Exactly. In a team where there's like we've just listed it now, half of them haven't even participated in their penalty shootout or taken penalties at club level. Yeah, the second penalty taker was Harry Maguire, for heaven's sake. That should tell you the willingness of these lot to take penalties, but yet people are complaining that Harry Kane took the penalty first. It doesn't make any sense to me. You want to get off on a good start, you put your best man on the job because, like you said, it may not even get to the 5th one. And then the second point I want to make is on his performance as well, because a lot of people I've been seeing Twitter is honestly the worst because at times I'm literally knee deep in work, but I've got it open and I glance. And it takes so much self-restraint to stop me from popping off at people on Twitter when I see some of the stuff I read, because it literally doesn't make sense. I'm hearing people say, "Oh, why didn't Harry Kane get the ball and drive at Italy's players and stuff like that? Why didn't Harry Kane work the channels?" People are asking this guy to do stuff that he doesn't do, bro. No. Like they're asking him to do stuff that he doesn't do, and that's where it gets ludicrous for me. Like in the first half, when England had more of the ball than they did in the second half, they were using it well. When they were able to find him, he was making shit happen. I'm not saying that he played well in the second half, but I'm not really sure what people are expecting a striker to do when the team is literally having 30% possession between second half through to penalties, and every single time the ball gets played out from defense, it's being lumped up. And it's him versus Bonucci and Chiellini. Like, come on.
Yeah, sometimes the criticism is a bit, it's a bit mad. Like I said, sometimes it doesn't go to the 5th penalty. And if you can't change the list, then there's not much you can do when you make that choice. So obviously, falling to Saka was unfortunate. Dinesh here says, what I hate is commentators curse and presenters like Gary Lineker saying no one's won 2 penalty shootouts in the tournament and then Italy win. They should just keep their mouth shut. Love for the love, Dinesh. Blue Moon says, I got that resin oil, Matisse. But regardless, off pens, man like Mount, Kane, and Raheem should have come off. And Raheem can't take a pen, unlike Foden. So I guess there's different players here. Here's one for you, Tobes. David says you need to accept that Kane doesn't step up when his team need him. This is now 4 finals he's bottled, not stepped up in, not scoring.
Trigger him that.
Assisted.
Toby, don't get triggered. Don't get triggered.
I'm not even going
to
I'm just going to give a diplomatic response and just ask this guy to just watch football properly, please. Like, before you speak, actually watch the game and then make valid criticisms. Like, not scoring, not assisting. England had 2 or 3 shots in 120 minutes. And you're, what? 2 or 3 shots in 120 minutes, minimal. The only big chance created was the chance that Luke Shaw had to score. And the person who assisted the goal, he only got the ball because Harry Kane fed him when he was in space. Like, I don't understand. Like, people, yes, he's a world-class striker, but people always try to make it out like he's Superman. This isn't even me excusing him, because I was very vocal about how bad Kane was playing in the group stages, but I was also vocal about the lack of service. So a team that don't have possession, aren't committing bodies forward, aren't putting crosses into the box. People are like, oh, why wasn't he in the box? So what? You want him to stand in the box and then still not get service? If he stood in the box and the ball still didn't come to him, you'd call him a goal handler. You say, what? Why is he just standing there static? Like, you can't win with some people. When England aren't getting the ball and he tries to drop deeper to try and make shit happen, but he can't get the ball as well, he gets criticized. If he stays up top and goes and goal hangs, he'll get criticized too. Like, I don't really understand. I don't really get it.
What does everyone else here think? Steve, SAEED, Matisse, Kane. Obviously, he's at that age now where he's not on he's on the back end of his career. Obviously, what is he? 28 now.
No, he's in the peak. I reckon he's in his peak of his career.
He's going to be 28 in like a week or so.
I think
like back end. Last time.
Last stretch. Yeah.
I think sometimes he gets too frustrated and comes too deep looking for the ball in areas where he's never going to get the ball. But it doesn't help when you're playing in an England side with 2 players in central midfield that only pass side to side backwards. There's no one there that can put a ball through a gap or over the top to him or anything like that in that team. There's just nobody there. If Grealish sits in where Mount was playing, you've got a chance, because Grealish has got that little bit of something special. Mount's a good player. He didn't have a good tournament for me. He didn't do anything at all where I'm going to say he's outstanding. Maybe it was just a little bit early for him. But I'm not being funny. If you put Harry Kane in a team where they've got a little magician buzzing around in that central, you're going to find him. So he gets frustrated. You've all done it yourself. You're a striker and you're playing up front and you're not getting the ball, or you're getting long. They were knocking long balls to him. He was just flicking it on.
Do we need a 10, Steve? Do we need a creative 10?
But you've got a manager.
Need a number 10.
You've got a manager that won't play that way. This is what I'm saying to you. Gareth Southgate, you've done a good job, mate, right? The nation's got behind you. We all wore waistcoats and all that bullshit. But at the end of the day, mate, we're not putting you in charge of our golden fucking eggs, because on that bench you had players who were special, and them special players have to be playing. I'm sorry, they have to be playing. If we're going to win anything, we have to find a system or a routine where them players, them young lads, are getting in that England squad, and Gareth Southgate will not do it. You wouldn't put him in charge of them players. They will do, because he's a yes man. But for me, we will not win a big tournament because he will stick to his negative tactics, nice and safe, and you'll end up with a bench that's better than the first team, which happened most games.
You know what's mad as well, Steve? Yeah, like Raheem Sterling, everyone knows that he was England's player of the tournament. Yeah, I don't even think that's up for debate. I think he was England's player of the tournament. He was completely.
I actually think Luke Shaw, to be honest, but yeah.
He's got a shout, but like, let's just say
Maguire maybe as well. Maguire was solid.
He's got a shout, but like, what I'm saying is Sterling was a non in the final, anonymous, not making those runs beyond Harry Kane, and Mason Mount completely invisible in the final, completely invisible. So the 2 runners that are meant to be playing next to Harry Kane, nowhere to be seen. To be seen. But yeah,
what's that down to?
How easy was it for Italy? Mancini would have said to them, let Declan Rice and let Phillips have the ball. No way on earth they're going to put a pinpoint pass through you or over the top. So let them have the ball. They're going to go side to side, backwards. Then Italy pressed us. We knock it back to Pickford. Pickford tells everyone to get up, launches a 50-yard ball up the field. Bonucci heads it onto Chiellini. Italy's got the ball again. Same thing, back to Pickford, launches it up the pitch.
All game.
That's it. Pickford launched it. Harry Maguire at one point carried the ball out of defence and just blasted it into the stand. No one knew.
Yeah.
And it was like they're panicking because there's
This is what I'm saying, Steve. This is what I'm saying, Steve. Like Italy knew. They said, yeah, you know what? F it. Play the ball up top. It's just Harry Kane up there. Even
But
if
what was the difference, though, Toby? The difference was the manager. The difference in the game was the manager.
But to be honest,
this is an important thing I said the other day, yeah? Jack, we was pinned in our own half for a long periods of time. We couldn't get out of the half, yeah? If you put Grealish on, if you ping the ball into Grealish in the final third, if anyone touches him, he's going over. You've got a free kick, you can regroup. And I know that's not the way to play football, but if we'd have had to shithouse ourselves to that fucking final and win it by doing that and playing like Stoke, I'd have had it all day, mate, all day long.
But also, when Grealish is...
Sorry, Matisse. Just my last point. I think he really fucked up in the second half as well. Because at the time when he made the sub, I thought it was because he was on a yellow card. But I come to find out that he wasn't even on a yellow card. I don't think he should have taken off Declan Rice. No. Like, that wouldn't have been the sub.
He was knackered.
Rice was having a good game.
I think he didn't look... I don't think he looked knackered to me. And two, he was the only midfielder that not only was he working...
Covered a lot of ground, though, innit? You had to freshen it up, though.
I get that. I'm not saying you don't freshen it up, but what I'm saying is it wouldn't have been Rice that would have come off for me. I would have taken off someone like a Calvin Phillips. I would have taken off Mason Mount, for heaven's sake. What I'm saying is Declan Rice, out of possession, he was one of the few players that were trying their hardest to close down Jorginho. And in possession, he was willing to drive with the ball. He was willing to actually run with the ball, move with the ball, do something different, bro. So for me, I didn't really get why he came off. And I just felt like a match that Italy already had control of, it just went from like 60% to 80% domination when Declan Rice went off the pitch.
Look how many times Kane actually looked like a better player in this tournament when Grealish came on. Scored a goal from Grealish's cross. When Grealish is on average, the team is going to create more chances. It's just a fact. So he took too long for me to take off Mount and put on Grealish. That was his first thing. Could have even, if he had the balls, he could have put on Bellingham to give you some extra legs in midfield as well. Seeing as who's never going to have the ball, you're going to need legs, and he's very young. He's going to have the legs next to Rice. But
Kounde was poor as well when he came on. Like, I'm not even going to lie.
He wasn't fit though. Wasn't much fit. That's why I said bring in Ward-Prowse. But people laughed at me.
I don't think it's. I don't think it was. I think he just had a bad game. I wouldn't put that down to.
No, but he's had a bad. To be fair though, was he ever match fit though? That's a problem.
But he's looked good. But he's looked good when he's come on in the previous games though.
He looked good against, about that, man.
Yeah, what do you mean? He looked good against Ukraine. Looked good against when he came on against
Ukraine. But Ukraine, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. It was Denmark. After that third goal when
the game was over by the time he came on against Ukraine.
Yeah, man, the game was over, man. Listen, I don't think he was ever match fit, man. He wasn't ever match fit.
But all I'm saying is, I don't think his performance helped, because ultimately, if you're taking off one of Phillips or Rice, you want to swap them for someone who can progress the ball better. And I think he can progress the ball better, but he just didn't do it. Like, his passing was off and his pressing was off as well.
Like, for me, even like Rashford, you know what I mean? If he wasn't half fit, could we have brought someone else on? There's certain elements of this squad. You know, what was the point of bringing Reece James in? You know, what was the point of that? You could have brought in, you know, Jesse Lingard. I thought he would have offered something. You know, certain things for me.
Cody didn't play a minute, did he?
You know what I mean? Like, exactly that. When I looked at the squad, the more you analyze it, it was like, obviously, it's easier to analyze after the game. You know, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but you know, when you analyze it, there were certain things in our squad that were just cheerleaders. You know, they were just here just have a laugh on that. And I thought, you know, Italy used their squad the maximum. You know, they had their Bernardeschi. You know, they brought on a lot of players. Some players I didn't even know about, and I thought, right, who's this guy here? You know, they come on, they did a job. Our squad, Southgate for me, didn't use it to its maximum, and eventually we got caught out. And I mean, people will say penalties is lucky, but we didn't use our squad to the maximum.
Simple question for everyone here.
Yeah.
Do you keep Southgate for the World Cup, or would you replace him? Because for me, I'd replace him.
You'd replace. I think they should replace him. I think they should replace him.
It's no point. I reckon it's no point.
It's not going to happen.
People will call us.
Yeah, Turkish had enough.
Yo, the host is gone.
That's fast, like.
Like people make.
Yeah, you went. Yeah, it's too early. It's too late though, Toby, man. Who are you gonna bring in now?
Yeah, but my thing is this: it's not who they can bring in now. They have like a year and a bit until the World Cup. Like, Matisse, we've said it. How long on your show? Like, consistent. I don't rate this guy, Southgate guy. Like, I can appreciate the work he's done for England to get to the final, but I still think a better manager gets more out of England.
In the chat that say keep Southgate, they've got that losing mentality that the English have got. Oh, he's a nice guy. He wears a waistcoat and he talks nice on the telly. What a load of bollocks. Mancini ain't a nice guy. Mancini don't give a fuck. Mancini's just won the Euros by being ruthless and telling them Italian players how to play in his system. Gareth Southgate learns how to play his system from the Sun. Whatever the Sun newspaper picks the team or the squad, then players are in it. So he needs to get a pair of bollocks. And that's all I'm saying. If you want England to win out, get somebody in that's going to change the system up and get them young players. We should have played Sterling on the left, Grealish in the 10, Sancho on the right, and Kane up front, and let Italy worry about us running all over the shit. Not sat in midfield, all camped in our own half, shitting ourselves while everyone's singing Sweet Fucking Caroline. You know what I mean?
But it's not I mean, look, Steve, you were singing it though.
who would you like? Look, right, to get someone in for World Cup 2022, even though it's December next year, you need to replace Southgate now. Who would be your prime candidate? Do you have one?
Eddie Howe for me.
Obviously, listen, the realistic candidate, you want a world-class manager, right? There's not many of them out there. Conte's not got a job at the minute, but do I think he's going to fit England? I don't know. I don't think the FA would put up with him. Do you know me, right? And I don't care what anyone says, right? I don't care what anyone's going to say in the chat. I would give it to Frank Lampard. I'd say Frank Lampard, you know all the young players, you're English, they look up to you. You know, he did well with the young kids at Chelsea. Why not let him have a go at England? He's better than fucking Southgate. He's got more about him than Southgate. I would give it Frank Lampard. 100%.
That's not that bad of a shot, you know, because I give Frank Lampard a lot of credit. For that first season he had, he gets a lot of credit. When the pressure wasn't on and he could just do what he wanted with some of the young players, it worked out well. It's only the money and the pressure that worked out wrong for him, and you don't get that with England. That's a good shot, Steve.
He would be my man. I think that Mason Mount, Sancho, Rashford, Foden would all look up to Lampard because he's not far away from them. You know, he's only retired a few years ago. He's an England legend, and he'll play attacking football. And I think the nation will get behind Lampard. How can you get behind Gareth Southgate, man? The fucking guy got relegated at Middlesbrough. He's a boring. That fucking empty bottle of water's got more personality than Gareth Southgate.
What's he done to you, man? Steve, what's he done to you,
Do you know what? And for me, I don't think Lampard's got enough experience for it, because if you're talking about winning, right? I'm talking about
what experience is Southgate off?
But two rights don't make a wrong, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so I like Lampard, obviously.
Make a right, you mean?
Yeah, two wrongs don't make a right. Like, I love Lampard and all, but I just don't think he's got. Again, when it comes to the final moments, and I'm speaking as a Chelsea fan who watched him up close, is he going to have the managerial experience and credibility and understanding to make those critical decisions that you got to make in those? If we get to another final like this, do I trust him to 100% make the correct decisions in the final moments when he has to? Not yet, because again, he's not experienced. So this is why, even though I don't rate Southgate very highly, I'm not going to be really shocked if he stays in the job, because, to be honest, they were going to give him a new contract befure the tournament, let alone get into a final. They're talking about taking him to Downing Street and kissing his forehead. He's not going anywhere. Do you know what I mean? So you may as well saddle up and get used to it. He would have had to go out ages ago.
Would we get rid of him?
Well, of course I would, but who would you bring in? That's the thing. I don't know who I would bring in that's realistic. It wouldn't be Lampard for me.
A lot of people in the chat are saying Steven Gerrard, and obviously he's got some of that winning mentality you talk about, Matisse. Would that be?
He definitely would leave, though. He would definitely leave Rangers for that job. He definitely would leave Rangers, 100%. Like, that would be ideal. But again, for me, it's all trial and error. You know what I mean? With England managers, it's trial and error.
Arsene Wenger?
Sorry?
Arsene Wenger.
Arsene Wenger, nah, man. I think he's better off on being sports. You know what I mean? If
I think he'd be a sick manager for England.
I do as well.
I don't know, man.
I feel like he's been out of the game too long now.
Defensive prowess maybe a bit leave it, but I think he'll get that team playing, man. I think he'll certainly get them going toe to toe with other teams and maximizing the
still
in that squad.
I think he's still haunted by the Wenger outs, man. You know what I mean?
I'd give it Frank because Frank's a bit of a yes man. Frank's a bit of a yes man. He is. You know what I mean? He's a bit whiter than white. But the difference with Frank is, you know, with the young players and the spirit, when he had that little Derby team, he got some good young players in that. Obviously, the Chelsea young players respected him. Obviously, the senior ones.
What about Eddie Howe? Eddie Howe for me is a
Eddie Howe, mate. Eddie Howe's mowing some fucker's garden in Bournemouth now. He ain't even thought about as a manager. No one cares about Eddie Howe.
No, but if you look at what Eddie Howe's done, though.
Bringing Eddie Howe every week, you.
No.
These options, I'm not gonna lie to you. These options are not even worth sacking Southgate for.
Eddie Howe.
These options.
That was a Tottenham, you know what I mean?
He's on Eddie Howe's payroll, man. It's crazy.
I respect him, man.
He throws Eddie Howe out in the ring. He's like that. Raiola, the agent, you know what I mean? He just leaks stuff to the papers and that. SAEED's just throwing Eddie Howe in everything. There's a job at Tesco's in Withington. Eddie Howe's getting the
job. I just respect him what he's done, man. I feel like people underrate what he's achieved at Bournemouth, you know, bringing him from where they were, the amount of English talent he's nurtured. I think for me, man, bring him in, man. That's what I would say.
If Eddie Howe's been out of the game too long, then so is Wenger. That's how I see it.
No, I think Wenger's been out for longer, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying, but that's the logic. If we're not even being serious with Eddie Howe because he's been out of the game for too long, then Wenger's been out of the game for too long.
I don't think Eddie Howe's never done anything. You can't class getting Bournemouth to the Premier League as an achievement, but you look at Arsene Wenger and what he's achieved. It's a bit different, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Arsene Wenger's still haunted, he'll have nightmares coming back to London. You know what I mean? The old Arsenal fan brigade still after him. You know
I wouldn't really say Lampard is way above Eddie Howe in terms of accomplishments as a manager either. And I speak it again. This is from a Chelsea perspective. I don't actually think any of these options that anybody's put forward is actually worth sacking Southgate for. To be honest, you have to make sure that it's a serious manager. None of these rookie or potentials need a proper, like I'm talking Mancini level, and they don't need to be English. They need to be Mancini level. Yeah, I'll take of course. Why not take a foreign manager? Do you know what I mean? Of course, they just need to be a top level manager. But it needs to be like a Ragnick or someone like that. Do you think someone with a bit of pedigree?
Grealish and Sancho and all them boys, Mount, are going to listen to fucking Eddie Howe. Or they're going to listen to Frank Lampard. Because
listening is nice, but if you don't actually have, this is the thing.
No,
listening
real.
is well and good, but you need to have.
Take the blinkered glasses off. Be fucking real. One's Frank Lampard and one's Eddie fucking Howe. So if I'm playing for England,
leave him alone, man, Steve. Man.
Well, in that case, get Gary Neville and Paul Scholes and get the whole lot.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Eddie Howe. Leave the Eddie Howe chat. Leave it where it is.
The problem is, man, club legends don't do well, man. Club legends don't do well.
Graham Potter's a shout. That's a better shout than so far everybody's names I think put forward.
Not Graham Potter.
Yeah. But again, the job's big, man. This is the biggest.
Well, how can you get better than Gareth Southgate? You need someone that you know is going to get better than Gareth Southgate.
This is a big job.
Are you sure Frank Lampard would do better than what Southgate's doing? I'm not sure.
I don't think Lampard's ready. He's too young. The England job is meant to be the pinnacle. That's what people forget about. The England job is meant to be the pinnacle of English football. It shouldn't be a stepping stone. Frank Lampard's nowhere near the pinnacle of his managerial career. He's not even started yet. Do you know what I mean? He's his baby in the managerial scene. So to give him the England job, that tells me already that we don't rate this job where it should be rated. This should be the job that you get after a Man United or a Chelsea job. Not after and I'm talking about after you've been successful at Chelsea and you've won trophies. Not after you've come into Chelsea too early.
Go there.
Someone got the job for getting relegated with Middlesbrough. Someone got the job for that.
Yeah,
he was. Yeah, give it Steve, man. Steve will have them.
I just want somebody to
give it Stevie to the end of the season.
I just want somebody to look after England's young talent, someone that the young kids will look up to and respect. And I just think you don't have to win masses of trophies.
But the thing is, though, that's what Southgate's doing, though.
He's not, because he's keeping the youngsters on the bench, SAEED. It's keeping the youngsters on the bench.
Nah, regarding respect, yeah, like come on, like the players, like look at Saka, Sancho. Them man would definitely respect Lampard more than Southgate. 100%. Because of the things, because of football itself, like Lampard's, done.
But I just look at Lampard, mate. You know what I mean? He caused a bit of division at Chelsea.
We need an attacking-minded manager. I'm not saying go gung-ho, but we need somebody that's not going to shit himself before the game.
Steve,
like that.
He'll play Mount every game. We won't take off Mount. So you're probably with Mount.
Yeah, but Mount might run through brick walls for Frank Lampard. You know what I mean? He might do that. If he does that, he can keep him on.
We got a super chat here from Dinesh that says Fabio Capello was a world-class manager who failed with the golden generation. So world-class managers does not always guarantee it to work.
The golden generation was split. They didn't like each other. You'd have Chelsea boys sat in one corner, United in the other, Liverpool in the other. They didn't speak. They didn't associate. The squad was divided. This England squad, all them young kids have grown up through the England ranks together. Under 18, under 23s, they all know each other. You only have to watch the England training to see how together that camp is. But what I'm saying is we need a manager who's on the same page. Let them express themselves. We go mad about talent in this country, that we suppress the talent. And look at the fucking lineup in the European final. 7 defensive-minded players. You're suppressing the talent when you've got Sancho, Rashford, Grealish all sat on the bench. That's what I'm saying. Come on, let's just.
Yeah, but you can't just put these players out there and expect them to do something. Like you can put these players out on that pitch and they still look trash because they haven't done the job. How many times has Sancho doesn't look like the Sancho at Dortmund with England because Southgate doesn't know how to use him? No, but Lampard might play these guys, but does he know how to set up an attacking team, an attacking structure to make them flourish? That's a different question.
No, I don't think he does. That's why we need to get rid of him, because you're not going to win a team with 7 defensive-minded players in the final. You're not going to win.
And I think the golden generation had other great international teams around them competing for the same thing. Whereas now, I think when I look on the international scene, look, this tournament was entertaining. Don't get me wrong, but the quality. It wasn't like it was back in the day for me. So I think there's more chance with this golden generation coming up.
I think the quality was good though, I'm not going to lie. I think it was a high quality tournament.
I don't know, man.
I think it was.
Yeah,
you look at teams like, you look at Holland, Holland didn't have the greatest team on paper and everyone was slagging them. But they went and played football, You look at the Ukraine, people were saying, the Ukraine. But they went and played football. They've not got the same amount of talent in the Ukraine or the Holland squad as the England squad, but they played football. We didn't. We just neutralised the game to get over the line. That is all we did. Instead of using the players we've got, we just were scared. We're a scared nation that shit itself from an aging Italian side and did deserve to win.
Our pants, innit? We shut our pants, man. We shut our pants.
Listen,
shout out Italy as well. I think they were excellent, man.
Yeah, I want to move on to them. I actually want to move on to them and talk about them in a sec as well. We have a super chat from earlier from Davis that I've kept here to get that ball rolling. But big up Micah, big up everyone here. There's 1,800 here. Make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe to all the channels in the description box below. As always, people. Micah's saying Wenger is the best coach with these young players. Foden, Sancho, Grealish would blow teams away like Arsenal did with Fabregas, Nasri, Van P and Diaby. I think Wenger's very good with young players and he wouldn't have that pressure of domestic football media around him. So I think for me, he would be the best option. But I understand Lampard and Gerrard shouts too. And I understand Eddie Howe and Graham Potter, but I also understand where Steve says they're a bit more like what England have tried in the past, whereas moving forward, it might be something different. Andy Arsenal says it doesn't matter what manager England gets. They don't have the squad to win the Euros or World Cup, especially with those 2 central midfielders that are bang average. Well, in a year and a half, Bellingham will be a little bit older and slowly but surely he might be one of those central midfield players that changes it up. And when you look internationally now, even at Copa America, when I watched it, there's not many great international teams out there. So for me, there's a chance for England. I can't even lie. And this is coming from someone that says usually England have no chance. In this tournament, I feel like they showed enough to say they've got a chance at the very least. Lyndon says Frank Lampard with John Terry. Nah, that don't work. You know that could never run because of what happened. You see, like, what do you mean?
For me, like this team don't. We're talking about this team don't have experience at the final hurdle, and then you bring in a manager. any manager who doesn't have experience at the final hurdle. It's a recipe for disaster. There needs to be some sort of experience and know how to win trophies. So as a manager, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, bringing Arsene Wenger and Tony Adams as assistant, man. That's where it should be. But moving on to Italy, Davis, he said earlier, thoughts on the Italian centre-back pairing. Listen, Chiellini, Bonucci. Chiellini, he's probably top, dare I say, 10 to 15 ever.
Yeah, you could put him in there. There's no argument against it. You know what I mean? No one would bet against it. I think if you're looking at pairing, you'd say, you'd put them up there with the Baresi and them, man. You know what I mean? You've got to respect them, man. For me, they're unbelievable, man. A lot of people will say, well, Baresi and all that, but you got to only check what you've seen. And in the modern era, I think Chiellini and Bonucci are up there with the best in the modern era, of what we've seen. So I got to respect them, man. For me, what I mean? Even though the game was getting on, they never looked tired. What I mean? And maybe they controlled the game. Maybe we're just looking at things that we're saying, but maybe they were just too good. The way they come out for the ball. Hey?
Experience. When he pulled Saka back, experience that. Yeah, I'll take a yellow card now because he was in. Bang, pull him back. There you go. Whatever.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? They did what he was doing. But Mancini, what he did with them, he came in, he said, this is my squad, this is the system we're going to play. And then he kept picking more or less the same squad all the way through the qualifiers and all that, kept his system, kept his shape. I just feel that sometimes with Southgate, the people have a good game for some other team. Oh, they call him up to the squad. Or Lingard's had a couple of good games for West Ham. He's in the squad. These guys were never going to go. So you're wasting your time. Stick to your same players. And then when we have them warm-up games, he's playing people that aren't going to be there. It just was weird. But Mancini surrounds himself with Gianluca Vialli, Attilio Lombardo, people that are attack-minded players, good coaches, respected people in Italian football. So people look up to him. Who've we got on our Southgate? What's he called? Powell. Yeah, he was a shit defender and all. Who else was there?
Yo, Steve's affected by this game,
It just frustrates me when I just look at the whole setup. And if I can see it with my own eyes, someone in the FA needs to look through the back fucking brown envelopes and all the shit they've been done for, and let's get a proper team in to manage. They moan about England not having good talent coming through, this shit and everything. So all the academies have upgraded the facilities. We're bringing the talent through. We won the Under-18 World Cup. And then we get to a final and play 7 at the fucking back.
You know how mad I'd be if I watched Arsenal lose a Champions League final, then watch Turkey lose a Euro final as well. So I understand where Steve is at right now.
Yeah, I've had a bad few months, me. So I'm just taking it out on every club.
Be aware, people. Be aware. We got a super chat from Sam said, back in the day, Rome would have erected statues for Jorginho and Verratti for imposing their will on England like Caesar before them. What the hell's happened there? What's going on here? Let me bring people back in.
Well, you kicking everyone out.
We always got kicked out, bro. What the hell?
I'm not doing the fuck out.
Yo, I thought everyone dipped. I was
looking at my screen. I was like, yo, what happened there, fam? I
was thinking, what the hell?
Yeah, it was like, internet's not working. Try again. I was like, fam, what are you talking about, bro?
Turkish to himself.
Bro, I don't know what's going on, fam. I can't lie to you. It's moving mad right now. Back in the day, Rome would have erected statues for Jorginho and Verratti for imposing their will on England like Caesar before them. That was glorious. And Dinesh is asking, do you think Henderson would have been better to start the final? I think he would have played ball forward than the two who started.
Grizz told us the night before that Henderson was starting that final. So let me just tell you Grizz's track record at the minute. Mbappe signing for Liverpool, Sancho signing for Liverpool, Stanley Guez is signing for Liverpool, and Henderson's playing in midfield. So Grizz, yeah, he's talking absolute bullshit. Don't listen to him.
But you know what?
He's trying to dig up a signing now. You know what I mean? Apparently it'd be the one in Marland. You know what I mean? So let's see what happens in Marland.
He's going to Dortmund, isn't he?
Yeah, he's going to Dortmund.
Just on
Liverpool
that,
in the mud, man. Liverpool are finished, man. Tell
Which
you now,
one?
man. They're going downhill now.
Which one are you talking about, Toby?
well, the super chat about the midfield,
Henderson, yeah.
Yeah, but Henderson came on and he was bad, but I can't get over how good Verratti was in that second half and extra time. Like, I know obviously Jorginho's been good. He's been good throughout the tournament. Like, he set a standard. He's played every minute for Italy, and like I think he was in the team of the tournament, and I think you can't really argue with that. Played every minute for Italy, decide who won it, and he was a key cog in the way they played. So that's fair enough. But if you ask me who I think Italy's best midfielder is, not who was their best performer in the tournament, but who their best midfielder is, it's going to be Verratti every day of the week, because what he did in the second half was ridiculous. Like, they couldn't touch him, bro.
Yeah.
Pass and move. And he's not just, the thing is, him and Jorginho, they can make the simple 5-yard passes, but then they can make the probing passes as well. I felt in the second half, them two and Bonucci in possession were fake. Like, the passes that they were pulling off, they were just slicing England as well. And then honorary mention as well for that beast, Chiesa as well. I remember I watched this guy 2 years ago.
Chelsea are after him.
2 years ago at the under-21.
Rubbish, he didn't get him.
And I said, who the hell is this guy? Like, ridiculous. He reminded me of like a right-footed Gareth Bale. The way he was so direct. And like, I feel like that's what's going to take him to the top, because he doesn't play like your typical Italian winger. He don't play like a Insigne.
He's a throwback, innit?
He don't play like a Cameronese, yeah? He don't play like these type of silky Italian wingers. He's got the technique, but he's got the raw aggression. Like, he would just go at you. There was a period in the second half where Declan Rice, God bless him, he tried to stop this guy, and he genuinely couldn't stop him. A man put Declan Rice on the floor. Like, how often do you see that happen? Like, he was electric.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's people can moan and about him being in the team of the tournament, but then when you actually deep it, there weren't really many like memorable right wing performances.
Yeah.
But yet you see this guy, when he actually played for Italy, he was a beast. I remember in the early stages of the tournament, I kept saying, why the heck is Verratti playing over this guy? Like, why? I know Verratti scored bare goals in Serie A, but you just have to watch both play. I watched him for Juve. I watched him for Fiorentina. He's quite clearly a better winger than Verratti.
Yeah, I was baffed about that as well at the early stage, but then obviously Italy utilized their squad well. So
he's on loan at Juventus, but they have an option to buy him for like 40 million or something. No, he's on loan to Juventus from Fiorentina, but there's an option to buy. He's basically
that's not a loan though. It's like saying Barella's on loan to Inter. Like,
it's a fake loan. But I don't know why even there was even rumors of him going to Chelsea today, because that's just not going to happen.
Yeah. We're going to move on to domestic stuff as well. I don't know what this is about. Tevez on the wing. What was this in relation to?
Tevez on the wing.
Maybe Juve. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, people, hit the like button if you haven't already. We're still only on 500, still 1,800 people here. And subscribe to these man's channel as well in the description box below. Might as well start with you and the Haaland rumours and the Abramovich releasing funds and whatnot.
Ain't it Griezmann now, Matisse?
Don't make me sick. All this chopping and changes.
Griezmann is the best than anyone in the squad.
I mean, don't make me sick in terms of all this different rumors every day. Is boring me at this point. I mean, Griezmann is again, that's Barcelona pushing that because they need to get rid of him on the wages. He's going to probably go with Atletico Madrid. I think Barcelona, Atletico Madrid of him. Yeah, Saul, little swap there. So that's why SAEED or Steve was saying Saul to Liverpool is looking a bit dodgy, because Saul will probably go Barcelona with that swap with Griezmann. Yeah, but even so, Griezmann operates in the right channel half space to cut in his left foot. We've got Havertz and we've got Ziyech. We've got two left-footed players there. It's not like Griezmann's a natural lone centre forward, which is what we need. So I don't even want him anyway. But Haaland, at this point, it's just boring, man. It's boring because people are just, again, it's just getting milked now. Every single day, updates for there's no update. It's very simple, right? Dortmund won 150 million pounds or 175 million euros or whatever it is. And if Chelsea don't bid, then nothing changes. Like there's no update. So until we bid, there's nothing to it. And all these updates and different journalists coming out and saying, "Oh, I've got some news, got an article to write." Look, there's no update, mate. You ain't got shit. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing more to say until someone bids. It's done. There's nothing more. So I'm still waiting.
You lot haven't gone more than 4 seasons without winning the Premier League under Roman Abramovich, and this is now 4 seasons done. This is the 5th season. Do you think that something like that would ensure a title challenge and probably make Chelsea favourites?
I mean, we have to get a striker. Otherwise, I don't think we can challenge for the title realistically if we don't get a striker. Because I've seen our forwards last year, and they can improve, but even still, to jump up from the conversion rate we put out last year to the conversion rate we're going to need to win is a stupid jump that was just too unrealistic to ask these brothers to make without a new player. We have to sign a striker. But even Haaland, do you know what I mean? There's no guaranteeing that it's 100% going to work out if he does join. I think he's got a high possibility of smashing in the goals, but there's not a 0% chance that he doesn't flop. Look at all the big signings that have been made, in breaking transfer records. It's very rare that they actually reach the heights of their actual fee. Do you know what I mean? We're talking about 175 million euros. That's a lot of money. Plus, do you know what I mean? Agent fees and all of his wages and fees to Alfie and whatnot. It's a lot of money. So he would have to 100% deliver, and he's only 20 years old. So he'd make us challengers, but it's a lot of money to shell out on one player, man. So it's a bit of a gamble.
He's worth the money, though. If you have it, he's worth the money. Like I think he's one that I'm so sure that he bangs wherever he goes. Like, he is ruthless, like an amazing finisher. And the reason why I think he would smash it in the Premier League is because physically he's monstrous. He's fast and he's so strong. The amount of defenders that he bodies. Ruben Diaz was the best centre back in the league, and he put Ruben Diaz on his backside when Dortmund played Man City. Like, he's a player. I think if you sign him, you got a pretty good chance of winning the league. Simple as. It's that simple.
His mentality is top notch as well. For such a young guy, his mentality is.
Have you seen? I don't know if I put it on the group chat, but I think Man City are looking at Lewandowski, man. So you know what I mean? Like, it's if they get Lewandowski, that means Haaland might go then.
Myth
to Bayern Munich next year.
So
that's gonna be a mad one. That.
Myth.
I just don't sleep on City with Haaland. Let me tell you that. Don't sleep on City with Haaland. All this Kane talk. Don't be surprised if we sign Haaland. Let me tell you that.
Oh,
he's got. Listen, ring up Alfie now, man. Let's talk.
I'm gonna ring Alfie when he signs. I'm ringing Alfie live on the Big Six show. I'm gonna ring him on speaker. He might tell me to fuck off in Norwegian, but who gives a shit?
Yeah, man. I mean, we don't. There's not many options. Look at the strikers out there that's available. Do you know what I mean? Even Andre Silva, people are talking about him. He's gone to Leipzig, make a sideways move in Germany. There's not many options out there for elite strikers. Lewandowski, I don't see him moving. I think he's going to stay at Bayern. He's pretty sorted there, and I don't think Bayern Munich would even let him leave anyway. Because again, who are they going to replace him with? Everybody's waiting for Haaland's release clause next window, apart from Chelsea.
Danny Ings, isn't it?
Nah, man, I'm trying to win. The league,
available.
He's going to be injured a lot. Nah, bro. Did you just say Odin Wingy?
No, Origi.
Oh, Origi. Nah. Respect my club.
Ings played 29 times last season, Matisse.
Huh?
Ings, he played 29 times in the league last season.
I still don't trust him with the injuries, man. And again, this is Chelsea in multiple competitions. We're in like 4 competitions. I need someone who's going to be leading my team.
Available, I think.
Listen, stop. You're disrespectful. You're disrespectful now. It's disrespectful.
We've got one striker. We got Gabriel Jesus. That's it.
It's Haaland or bust right now, isn't it? Because who else is available? Do you know what I mean? That's bulletproof, like you guys say. There's not many, so I just need them to bring in a Norwegian, innit? That's what it is.
The thing is that there are available, like, you know, a lot of people don't really look at Lautaro Martinez, but again, you know,
I don't think he's available though. Again, Inter, they've sold Hakimi. They said they're keeping all their other key assets. I think they've even tried to pen him down to a new contract where he's at least nearly there, if not there already. He's not available either. There's honestly not much out there.
They got financial trouble though.
I don't know now. They've sold Hakimi. I think they might be all right. Someone just said Isak from Sweden again. He just signed a new contract to Real Sociedad. There's not options out there like you guys think there is. Lukaku said he's not moving, so that's another one. I could go through the whole list.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, for once, Abramovich could be, you know what I mean, penny pinching, maybe going at, you know, scrabbling around Europe. You know what I mean? Like, it's mad.
That's the worry.
But you've got a manager. The good thing is you've got a manager who can adapt though. That's a problem.
What
Well, that's
about
a good problem for you.
what about what's his name at Fiorentina? Vlahovic.
I haven't watched much of him. He's very young though, isn't it? It's a lot of pressure on his shoulders
Yeah,
to come to a
I've
new
not watched
league.
a lot as well, but from what I've read and from the little I've seen, he looks a good player.
What is he, 21 though?
I think he's 22. 21,
A
22.
lot of pressure. A lot of pressure.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is.
What's the name? Nketiah.
I've seen that.
That's what his barely away days at that, man. You know what I mean?
Go on.
Now I was going to move it to
Saeed.
I was going to move it to Saeed and Sancho and Varane and them lot doing their business. What was you going to say?
What?
Oh, are you going to come to Spurs later on?
What are we talking about Spurs for? What have you lot done?
I've been watching your YouTube videos.
I was going to mention Jules Kounde.
Cool. We'll talk about him.
Apparently.
You want to talk about that, really?
Yeah, I want to talk about it.
I will move on to you next, and then we'll move on to Saeed. KD.
No, let's go Saeed.
Patson Daka,
troll Tottenham.
that's a prospect as well. I think GRIZZ actually said GRIZZ actually said Patson Daka to Liverpool as well at one stage last season.
Yeah,
He's gone to Leicester, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's gone to Leicester.
Yeah, that might be another one for the record.
It needs to fire is in the know, man. You know, that other person is giving information.
Saeed,
gone, man.
how you feeling, man? With Varane and Sancho and with the second place finish last season, a title challenge or nothing.
That's what you said. I didn't say that. But
That's what I'm demanding from you every week on the Big Six show.
Nah, not really, man. I'm a sensible United fan. You know what I mean? People might not think it.
Remember, sensible in the what now? Sensible in the who?
Yeah, I'm sensible, man. I'm sensible. I've changed when I've changed.
Sensible.
You know what I mean? I've been having that humble pie, man. You know what I'm saying? I've changed when I've changed.
Bruno Fernandes,
now, you know what it is,
best player in the world.
No, relax.
Best thing since Zidane.
I didn't say generational. Relax.
Goals and highlights.
Franz Beckenbauer. Yeah, Franz Beckenbauer's got a restraining order out against Saeed, comparing him to any.
Now, we had a good World Cup,
reborn.
Let's see, man. Again. Yeah. Anyway, man.
Oh my god.
Now, you know what it is, yeah? Like, I'm not getting too giddy, man. You know what I mean? Like I said to people, yeah, Sancho was last year's signing. A lot of people are bringing in these John Myrtle, you know what I mean? Like pictures on that. Me, I'm not getting too giddy. I think Varane's waiting to happen, but he's taking a mick at the minute because he's longing it out. So I think that's not even guaranteed. I think he's trying to play us for a new deal. And ultimately, we need the DM. We need the CDM, centre defensive midfielder that can be that strong force, you know. And I feel like we're just not going anywhere. He looks a bit too fancy for me. I think what they're going to do is they're going to unveil Sancho, get the United fans giddy. You know, maybe you might see a little Dave feature on there. You know what I mean? And then we'll get a bit giddy, and then that's it. It'll die down a little bit. And then they'll probably end up chasing Ben White with Arsenal for 50 million. It's true, man. That's what they'll do.
No, honestly, I actually think you'll get Varane, to be honest. You're not confident, no?
No, I'm not confident because I've seen it before. Sergio Ramos, you know what I mean, was that close to coming United. And the next thing you know, he uses it a make-way deal for his new deal. So I'm not too sure, man. You know what I mean? Man United have they burnt too many bridges with me, man. You know what I mean? I'm lost for hope with Man United in terms of what they can offer. So if they do, then fair enough. But again, it's one of them things where, you know, you go and get Varane, you know what I mean? You need centre defensive mid in there, man. You know, if you can have that McFred double pivot, you know, Varane can only do so much. You know what I mean? When you got them two in the midfield. So I hope we get him, man. But all that title talk Turkish, man, you know what I mean? Don't be putting that on me, man. Them words are not going to come out of my mouth. Bro. I'm going to take the season as it comes. I know we're going to do like videos.
As it comes, it's been since 2015, isn't it? Is it 2015? When was the last time you won a title? 2013?
14.
Come on, man.
2013, man. 2013.
Come on.
Even longer, fucking hell.
Jeez, how long are we going to be waiting?
Hold on. Calma. Hold on. What time do you go to the league?
Don't wait. Our one's longer still.
Yeah. Well, how long?
17 years. Yeah. Can we talk about?
After the chat, I've seen Arsenal fans on the league.
Saeed, can I ask you a question now? When's the last trophy you won?
The last trophy.
Europa League last season, no? Oh wait, no.
Oh no, not that one.
No. I think we won a
2017, no?
we won a Charity Shield in 2018.
Oh,
is that a trophy?
Yeah, is that what you're doing? That?
Jesus, that was shameless. Try
No,
roll
listen.
that one in there like we didn't even notice.
Listen,
Jesus
you know what it is,
Christ.
yeah? For me, I'm not really a person who, like, I'm not saying judges a club by its trophies, but I want to see trophies as a whole. But Arsenal, really, when you look at them, you know, when you look at them, right, they've won that trophy, but in reality, we can't banter each other. You know, that's why for me, I give you little digs, yeah, but I don't go fully in on you because I know we're still a banter club. You get me? When that day will come, maybe when we win a trophy, that day will come, yeah. But right now, Man United and Arsenal fans, you get me? We're the same. We can't really banter each other. But you, man, are still doing a business in
you're just a richer banter club. That's all it is. You're just a richer banter.
I'm not sure. I'm sure.
You guys have got the top
I'm
transfer records in this country, haven't you? Swear down.
Yo, Toby, man, just say what you want to say, man. It's cool, man.
Toby's
Like,
next.
Is it not like Sancho, Pogba,
we know we're at the bottom, but
Maguire?
no, but I'm giving you free hit, man. I'm gonna give you free hit, man. Do you think,
I
man?
don't even want a free hit. I don't even want a free.
I'm not gonna say anything because you got me Tottenham, you know what I mean? But
Yeah, whatever.
like-
Tottenham, and Varane's gonna use you like a doormat, the same way Sergio Ramos did. Because like you
that's
said,
what I'm saying to you. That's why what I'm trying to say to you.
I
Like,
don't think Varane is joining Man United this summer. I think he wants to stay at Madrid. I think he wants to sign a new deal. It's all part of the games. Until I see Varane sign the dotted line, I don't believe that he wants to go to Man United. Simple.
Yeah. No, I agree, but that's why for me, you won't be hearing me next season. I'm gonna be very, very tight roped. I'm gonna take it easy.
I don't think we
I'm
are.
gonna hear some wild.
That's not what I signed up for. That's not what I signed up for. Give me this down, SAEED, man.
I promise you, within 3 weeks of the season starting, SAEED's going to be clipped up doing something mad.
9.9 top of the table.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that moment when we get to that moment. Yeah. But for now, man, you get me. Like I've been hurt by Europa League. Southgate's not the one. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm telling you, man. I'm a bit calm now. When that season comes in, we can get a bit giddy. But for now, there's no spud me's, there's no Twanzabes. You know, I've had a long season, man. Yo, you're gonna lose the next game, you know.
Sorry, bro, there's no point, man. You're not gonna be able to escape it, man. It's gonna one Sancho hat trick on the opening day, and it's lights out, man. It's all gonna go left. Do you know what I mean? Everybody's gonna be up on their feet again.
What was that? What was that tweet that was going about this week about Spurs being closer to the Victorian times since the last time they won the league?
Oh yeah.
So basically, what you're telling me is, people used to shit in pots and tip them out the window the last time you won the fucking league.
Oh Lord Jesus!
Look at his face.
It's true, though, isn't it?
It is what it is, isn't it? Like, what can I say? Like,
Horse and car and shit flying about.
Yeah.
When did you not win in 1961? Did not win it in 1961?
Stop this, man. Stop this,
bro.
No, I'm being serious, man. Did not win it in 1961.
Bro, my dad.
What, the league?
My dad was 1 year old. You're talking about. My dad wasn't even a fucking.
Oh, that for a second, you know. Man said my dad was 1 year old. I'm like,
bro, what the hell? 1961. This is crazy.
My dad was 1 year old, bro.
Right, listen, Spurs are a joke. Spurs are a joke. So you don't even need to tell me that. I know that.
But the videos have been good though. The videos on Tottenham, I've been watching them, man. You know what I mean? It looks like it's got well driven. The Nuno videos, man. It's come on to recommend it. So I thought, let me check, man, what's going on here, man. And Nuno looks like he's doing his thing, man.
You know, when I got in from work before, I turned the telly on and the 1987 FA Cup final was on, Tottenham and Coventry. I thought, fucking hell, I watched this. Tottenham might win a trophy and they got beat 3-2.
The cheek of them to even bid for Kounde was just hilarious to me. I already knew he was going to reject them before they even started the negotiations. It's
you don't shoot, you don't score. Someone should tell you that when you're out chatting up girls, isn't it?
Bro, I'm tied up, bro. It's you, bro, going into other brothers' weddings and trying to pick up. You know when they do the flower girl, they throw the flowers. Catching the flowers, bro. Anybody wants it? Toby's just like, oh.
Yeah. Whatever, man. Get invited to weddings next time, yeah. Get your wedding game up. But, I agree. I agree with your notion that, of course, Jules Kounde was going to reject Spurs. I don't even rate the guy highly, and I remember saying that last night. But one of the main things which concerned me wasn't even how does he fit at Spurs. It was more a case of the guy's gonna reject us. Like he may realistically reject us because why would he come to Spurs? Sevilla got Champions League football. He's 22 years old. He's highly rated. He's probably going to be able to get himself a bigger move, as we've seen with really good Sevilla players. They normally go on to play for one of the big Spanish sides or go to big clubs abroad. Rakitic went to Barcelona. Jesus Navas went to Man City. I could go on and on and on and on and on about the list of players from Sevilla who have gone on to play for big clubs. And he's seen Reguilon leave Sevilla, go to Spurs. Spurs are now in the Conference League. He's thinking to himself, why would I want to put myself through that when I could get a bigger club? I get it. The allure of playing in London, earning probably double, if not triple what you're earning now. But I think he just needs to be patient and he'll get that from a club who are better and bigger than Spurs. That's the way I see it. That's the way I'm going to see it with a lot of these highly rated players. They're always going to think
he would improve Tottenham, though. He would improve Tottenham.
Of course,
he would. But I do think he's overrated, and I said that yesterday. A lot of people are showing me stats and stuff, which were encouraging. But when before I say this disclaimer, I have not watched him extensively. But the times I've watched him, I've not really been like wow, this guy is an amazing defender.
I look at him sometimes and I think to myself,
back three, ultra aggressive.
Back three would suit him very well. You know, he's not the tallest, but he's very aggressive, good on the ball, brings it out well. Right side centre back, where you're not kind of like a ball playing Aspilicueta type. And I think he was linked with Real Madrid as well to replace Varane if they ever got rid of him. So he probably is waiting out on a better move. But in the Premier League, just from some French experts that I've spoken to, they do worry about him in the Premier League. Would he struggle in the air because he is not the tallest? He is quite physical though. So
his stats, I was reading his stats that people sent me yesterday. His aerial duel success in comparison to others is actually quite high. Like I think he's got a good leap on him. He's got like a Lucas Moura vibe to him. But anyway, yeah, I'm happy that Spurs have even gone for him. Or better yet, I'm happy that Spurs have gone for a midfielder as rated as he is. And more importantly, I'm happy that they even tried to use one of the many duds in our team that we're trying to offload to broker the deal. That's good. Even though he's rejected us, it's good because I think it's good that they're trying to target high-profile players in the centre-back position and also trying to offload one of the weaker players in our squad at the same time as well. So if we can have that same attitude going forward and try for other centre-backs who are rated similarly to Kounde, then you never know. We may end up getting a really good centre-back this summer. Do you not
feel like you're wasting time though? Because I saw Turkish speaking about Arsenal after the Hibs game and I couldn't agree more, right? Is that you should know who your targets are at this point. You shouldn't be fishing about knocking on the door. Yo, will you sign for me? Oh no, you're not. Okay, fine, no problem. Like, what is this, man? Do you know what I mean? Like, you should know.
But these are the club's targets.
Time wasted. You can bid for who you want.
I don't think it's necessary. I get your point, and it is. You are right. Pre-season has started. We need to get players through the door, but I think these players were targeted by the club. So if they're on the list of players that you want to go for them. He was on our list. We made an offer. The offer was accepted, and Jules Kounde didn't want to come. The player knocked us back, so I don't really see that necessarily as like a disaster.
I just think you shot your shot too high there, and it's just a bit.
No, but you say shot too high. You say shot too high, but like that's what we want as fans. I'd rather.
I personally don't want my club bidding for players that they're not going to get. I think it's time wasting. I think it's a publicity stunt half the time because if you know, usually in the modern game, you can agree personal terms with the player, agree personal terms before you even put in the bid. I mean, Arsenal have done it with Ben White. Sancho at Man United, the same thing as well.
It wasn't just personal terms though, because we haven't agreed personal terms with Kounde.
That's what I'm saying. In the modern game, you seem to be able to agree personal terms before you even put in the bid. So the fact that you are bidding for someone publicly, but you don't even, then he's rejecting you. That shouldn't even happen, really, because it doesn't happen it doesn't seem to happen to a lot of other clubs in this window. They seem to agree personal terms first.
You try to find out if the player wants to. Yeah, Matisse is kind of right. You try and find out if the player wants to come. It is a bit weird, but it does happen as well, Toby. You are right. It does happen. So
maybe Nuno go and get Connor Cody from Wolves.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
For what? He probably
miles
will
better than what you've got now. Miles better.
But if that's what we're going for, they're better than Dion Sanchez, then 90% of the
big players are turning you down. Nobody big's going to come to Tottenham. Nobody big's coming Tottenham. Come on.
But Steve, I don't even care about people.
We did this with the manager thing, man. We've been here already, bro. Just
I don't care about people. If they're going for players like Jules Kounde, fine, go for it. If he knocks us back, go for a similar type of player. I don't care. Just keep going for good players or players who are highly rated. That's what we need. We don't need some of these fucking scrubs that we were linked with before. I was seeing Vestergaard 2 weeks ago. You think I'm going to be that upset?
Good, man, I told you about Vestergaard.
We tried and fell for Jules Kounde. I would rather try and fail for Jules Kounde than be sniffing around for Vestergaard.
I think what could end up happening is you could end up wasting time going for players that are unattainable, and then deadline day still end up with the same trash. Your only difference is that you had no preseason with this trash, and you panic buyed now with this trash because you've been wasting time going for unrealistic targets.
You are right there, but from what I've read, the club have a varied list of options at centre back. It's not just Kounde and done. Because last year it was Skriniar and done. We scrambled. We tried to get Skriniar. We didn't cuff up the money, and then we panic bought Joe Rodon on like a couple of days after the window closed for no damn reason. But this one, I think we actually have multiple options that we're going for. One of them, who I'm not even too sure about, and I've never watched him play. He seems like he's coming in as well. Tomiyasu, I don't know who he is. I hope he's good. I don't know. But what I'm saying is this: the club clearly have options at centre back, so they're going to go for them, and I have no problem with that. I really don't.
We'll see how it unfolds. Wait, has something gone mad again, or we're all still here?
No, we're all good. We're all good.
Yeah. What did the league think? Did we finish the league predictions?
Yeah, we did. You and GRIZZ were the only ones to get 1-1 right. Everyone else either predicted an England win or a.
Oh yeah, it's over here.
Or an Italy win.
Yeah, man. So I'm not bottom of the league at least.
Let me see where the league table is. Let me bring it up now. This is how it ended.
Oh, Jesus.
Told you, man, Matisse.
Take that off the screen, man. Jesus. I saw.
Why am I second bottom?
Because SAEED got 3 points for guessing 1-1.
I got deducted points for match fixing.
That's why I said to you guys that do find out the score. You guys laughed at me. I told you to find a score.
Did I get deducted points or something?
Nah, but what do you mean?
Match fixing, I don't know. Something must have gone on. Betting or something.
I'm here winning this league, yeah. Imagine, I've won this league, yeah, and I've come to realise that I didn't even put nothing for the winner of this. I've gone and given Italy to Turkey. Turkey have ended 24th out of 24 teams. Italy have won the thing. And GRIZZ ain't even here to collect his winnings. We've been chasing him for his account details for the last few days, and he's ghost. I'm gonna give him until midnight tonight. If he doesn't send it, then I think that bet's void.
He's spending it all on the sand in the nose and all that, man. You know what I
mean? Spending all the winnings, man.
I bet when GRIZZ was a kid, he used to phone that Team Talk hotline all the time. Remember that Team Talk?
Yeah,
£2.50 a minute. Steve, before we go, there was the Euro 2021 Fantasy League we did. I think someone called David won it, right?
Yeah, the Fantasy League. If you entered the Big Six Euro Fantasy League, the winner needs to get in touch with me on Instagram, and we'll sort out the Terrace Cult Clobber. Just trying to log on there now.
Yeah, I saw his account pop up today somewhere.
If you won the league, then send a video to Steve of you logging into your app and then the league table and showing that it's you that's won the league.
There he is, there, David.
Yeah, David. Send. What
he's
did he
He's quote tweeted the Big Six account.
I'll say nothing. If he's already there, we'll contact you then.
He's tagged us all. Yeah, I've seen you, David. Yeah, you've tagged us.
The other one we did the Sun one that we did. Someone's won that, so that's fine. But so well done to him. We'll sort it out.
Yeah, I tagged you Turkish there, so it should come up in your notifications.
Yep, I've just seen it now, Matisse. Love for that. People will sort that out. Steve will sort that out for you. As always, love for the love. Still 1,900 people here. Hit the like button before you go. Get it up to 1,000. As always. always, people. Big up Toby, Matisse, SAEED, and Steve for coming on. Their channel links in the description box below. Make sure you subscribe over there because they're always doing videos together as well. Subscribe to the Big Six channel. I know we ain't launched it yet, but we will be launching it real soon. So make sure you do that. And we'll be back here next Wednesday, same time, 10 o'clock. So make sure you're there, people. Love for the love, people. We'll be back next week. Take care.